Hi, my name is Tom DiAugustino. I am the Dean of Global Education here at HWS, and I'd like to welcome you to our Fall 2021 Study Abroad Program Information Session. I oversee the Center for Global Education. We're located on the third floor of Trinity Hall, and first thing I'll do is introduce you to the members of our staff. There are 5 of us in the Center for Global Education, and you'll see everybody in this presentation. In addition to the full-time staff members, we have a number of return study abroad students we call programming assistants who work in our office. All of these students have participated in one of our HWS study abroad programs, and they serve as peer advisors in our office. They're a great resource for those of you that are interested in study abroad, and I encourage you to try to connect with them to get their insights into what it's like to participate in one of our programs. Okay. I'm going to take you through the process quickly of what we're going to cover tonight and over the next couple of weeks. You'll see on your screen kind of a chart showing you the process that we're going to take you through. And we assume that many of you have already been on our CGE website to do a little bit of research into the types of programs we offer and so on. If you haven't, I'd really encourage you to do that. It's a great resource for you to learn about all of the programs that we offer, what they're like, and some of the important policies and procedures that we follow. We're going to cover that sort of material also in this presentation. It's going to be a little bit different than what we normally do. Normally we do everything in one evening in the Van Bulletin at the beginning of each semester, but we're going to break things up a little bit into some different steps to take you through. The presentation that we're going to do tonight is going to highlight the different programs we have available for you in fall 2021. You're going to learn about the academic focus of the programs, eligibility requirements, housing, excursions, things of that nature. We're also going to cover for you some of the very important policies and procedures that we do follow. We're going to talk about things like financial aid, how credits and grades work, eligibility requirements, how you apply for our programs, and the criteria that we use in evaluating applications. After you see this video, the next step is going to be to sign up for a CGE advising session with one of our staff members. Those will be available from September 2nd to the 7th. You'll meet with my colleague Amy Teal, who is our program operations manager, and she's going to hold a number of different individual or small group meetings, some in person and some via Zoom, to help you narrow your focus and try to identify programs that will work for you academically. Because first and foremost, these are academic programs in which you're going to earn HWS credits and grades.
Hello, my name is Colleen Kolb. I'm the Associate Program Manager in the CGE, and I'm going to explain to you how to set up the advising meetings with Amy Teal that Tom was just mentioning. So you can sign up for either the extended group meetings, which are about 45 minutes in a small group setting, or a mini advising session, which is about 15 minutes one-on-one, by clicking the purple buttons that you see in step 3 below. So you can see those on the screen here, and you can also find them as you scroll down just below the video that you're watching here under step 3. So when you click on those buttons, please be sure to pay attention to the location specified there when you are ready to sign up. Some of them are in person in Trinity Hall and others are on Zoom. So pay attention to which your preference is and to sign up accordingly for that. Next, in the week of September 7th through the 10th, we will have info sessions for most of our Fall 2021 programs. For some of the smaller programs, students should contact faculty that help to advise for these programs, and you'll see the list of those at the very bottom of the page here. For the rest of the programs, some of the sessions will cover multiple programs if they are related. So for example, all of our UK programs will be done in one session together, as well as our Copenhagen and Stockholm program, because those are run by our same partner. These program-specific sessions will be held live on Zoom. They'll be led by faculty or CGE staff or representatives from affiliate partners of ours. So when possible, these live sessions will also include student global ambassadors who are students like yourselves who have come back from the programs that you might be interested in and can help to answer questions that you might have about what it's like to be on that program. These sessions will be about half an hour long and will also include opportunities for a Q&A. We recommend that you attend as many of them as possible to learn about multiple programs. It's definitely good to apply to more than one program, as this is a competitive process and we typically get more applications than we have slots available. It's good to have backups for these. So we will record the sessions if possible, and the recording will be available on this site that you're currently on by logging back in to the HWSabroad virtual info session, and you'll find the recordings there. With that said, though, we do encourage you to attend these in person if possible to be able to ask questions. So to register for these program-specific sessions, you will need to scroll down from this page and find step 4, where you will be able to see the schedule and timing for all of the sessions, and then click on the links associated for each one to register for the Zoom meeting. When you click to pre-register for the Zoom meeting, that will allow you to have the Zoom link sent to you via email and be able to save the time in your calendar to make it easier to remember when these times are coming up. So I definitely recommend doing that ahead of time for all of the programs that you are interested in. As another reminder, please also use your HWS email when you are registering for the Zoom sessions here. So now I will turn it back over to Tom for some announcements.
Okay, before we jump into things, we've got a couple of quick announcements for you. If you are a non-US citizen or do not hold a US passport, visa requirements for you in certain countries where we have programs may be different. And I want to encourage you to stop up to the Center for Global Education or contact us to get further information about programs that you might be interested in applying to. Secondly, we're not going to be offering our program at Lingnan University in Hong Kong this fall. Also, I want to put a quick plug in for our programs in Germany. We have a special endowed fund, the Julius Blocker Endowed Fund, set up by Mr. Blocker, a former Hobart student, to provide financial support for students specifically to do study abroad programs in Germany. We have a number of different program options in Germany, some for German language speakers, but others that offer coursework in a variety of different academic areas in English. And so if you're interested in learning more about that and more about the Julius Blocker Fellowship that we offer, I would encourage you to look into those programs in Germany. Finally, if you're interested in short-term study abroad programs during the summer or a J term, we're going to be offering an information session like this on September 15th. So do keep an eye out for announcements about that. As I mentioned, we're going to be focusing on fall 2021 study abroad programs in this presentation. If you're a first-year student or a student looking at a semester perhaps beyond fall 2021, it's great that you're here and learning about this. It's always good to plan early, but I do want to point out that some of the programs, the academic content or focus of those programs might be slightly different in a future semester, so do keep aware of that. We've organized this presentation around 3 basic questions for you. Why study abroad? Where can you study abroad? And how do you make this happen? So the first question, why study abroad? Many of you are here at HWS because this is something that's important to you and you know that you already want to do this. Others of you may be a little bit unsure, but in either case, the thing we'd like to start you out with is a short video from some of our former return study abroad students who are going to talk a little bit about why they chose to study abroad and what they got out of that experience.
My name is Ingrid Daler-Sutter, and I studied abroad in Tübingen, Germany for 1 year.
I'm Jess Bishop, and I studied abroad in Rennes, France.
My name is Danielle Muller, and I studied abroad in Prague, in the Czech Republic.
My name is Africa Oath, and I studied abroad in South Africa.
I'm Nikolai Stern, and I studied abroad in Vietnam.
Students should study abroad because it's such a great way for people to get out into the world and experience themselves in another context.
If you really apply yourself, then studying abroad is going to give you tools to be successful for the rest of your life.
I think people should study abroad because it really gives you a great reason to learn life skills.
You should study abroad because you get a new perspective of the world and also the country you're in.
The best way to see yourself or understand yourself is to take yourself out of your natural element. You get to study a new language, a new culture, but also study yourself and see who you are.
One of the most exciting things about studying abroad is that you get to know a new city, a foreign city, and honestly call it your home. I live right outside of New York City, and I can honestly say I know Prague better than I know New York, so that's pretty cool.
I would say the most exciting thing was how spontaneous everything was.
But the most exciting part is just meeting new people. You have intense conversations about politics, about food, about language. You have people that disagree about, a curriculum or a discourse that you've been taught to believe was the universal discourse your entire life because you're in America.
After studying abroad in Vietnam, I really saw the world in a whole new way.
I became a lot more open to new ideas and kind of new ways of thinking about things. I think I learned how to be able to trust myself and how to be able to be really independent in a foreign situation.
I feel more comfortable, honestly, in my own skin after being put in these situations where I had to kind of push my comfort zone a bit.
Studying abroad definitely just changed my life in general.
The best piece of advice I can give is not to narrow your options. I think a lot of people come in and they have an idea of, oh, I just only want to study here, and they only think about that one particular place. But it's possible that, there's another 2 programs or a few programs that really fit your interests.
I also recommend that everyone go to a Which Program for Me information session with Amy Teal.
Take that risk, take that next step, do something that you don't think that you can do.
CG is really here for you every step of the way. If you reach out to us, we don't bite, so we're pretty friendly.
Okay, on this slide, you'll see some of the things the students talked about in terms of the benefits that they feel they got out of participating in a study abroad program. There's one thing I'd like to add to that. And it's that study abroad is something that will set you apart from the vast majority of your peers after you graduate, when you go on to apply for jobs or positions in graduate school, law school, med school, whatnot. We like to use a statistic that we talk about, less than 2%. What that refers to is that in any given year, less than 2% of American college and university students participate in a study abroad program. That will give you an idea of how few students will have this on their resume compared to you. So it gives you a distinct advantage when you're going out to compete again for jobs or placements in graduate school. That's a really important benefit that you get from participating in a study abroad program. There's 3 key points also that we like to make when talking to students about study abroad to try and dispel some of the misperceptions that there are. First, these are academic programs. This is not about tourism, although you do get to visit some really interesting places and see some interesting things. But first and foremost, these are academic programs on which you're going to earn HWS credit. You can get credit towards your major, your minor, or you can address goal area requirements. All of the credit and grades that you get appear on your transcript exactly as if you're on campus. And you continue to make progress towards graduation, again, just as if you're on campus. It's very important that you find programs that will meet your academic needs and interests. Second, these programs are accessible. And what I mean by that is that our program menu, we have about 50 different semester program options, offers something for everyone, regardless of what your major or minor is. We can find programs that will work for you academically. Sometimes there will be a number of different options that you'll have. Also, we've created a menu of programs that has a great deal of variety. We have programs all over the world on 6 different continents. We have programs of different size, programs which will include others HWS students, or programs where you can be a little bit more independent and study alongside students at a local university abroad. We have programs that will be led by HWS faculty members, or programs where you will directly enroll in a foreign university. The point is, regardless of what your interests are, we have programs that are available to you. Finally, these programs are affordable. You do not have to be independently wealthy to study abroad on an HWS program, because all of your financial aid applies, exactly as if you're on the HWS campus. The one exception I do have to note is work study, because we can't employ you while you're abroad. Also, in addition to your financial aid, there's other sources of support and scholarships that are available to you to help offset some of the costs. The additional costs that you have on a study abroad program are, of course, your airfare to get you to and from the program site. There's a study abroad administrative fee of $600, although the semester that you're away, you're not charged the HWS activity fee. And in some cases, there are visa requirements. But please don't let finances be a reason that you don't apply and don't have this experience. These are affordable for all of our students. The second question that we want to address in this presentation is, where can you study abroad? And we've prepared a short video to feature all of the different Fall 2021 study abroad options. We're going to show that to you in just a second. But in this video, you're going to see a slide for each of our program locations that's going to include some information to give you a little bit of a taste of what that program is like. There'll be a summary of kind of the academic focus of the programs, the academic areas where you will be able to get credit. There will be an indication of the type of housing that is available, whether it's a homestay or a student residence or an apartment. And there'll also be an indication of any special features that the programs might have, an internship, community service opportunities, and so on. For programs that are in non-English speaking locations, you'll see in some cases we offer language immersion programs where courses will be offered in the target language, but also many programs where coursework will be available in English while you can take the language at a beginning level, for example. The beginning of the video will feature our faculty-led programs. We're going to offer 6 programs led by HWS faculty or faculty from one of our partner institutions. And then the programs after that will be based at partner universities abroad or offered in collaboration with study abroad providers that we work with every semester. Some of the programs you'll notice will cover a variety of different academic areas. We can't possibly list all of the areas that some of them will apply to. So we're going to show you kind of how to use our website in a little while to do a search to find programs that will meet your academic needs in terms of major and minor and goal area requirements. But if you don't happen to see your major listed on one of the program slides, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do that program. Do make sure you go to our website and do a more detailed search. Finally, this video is intended to help you identify multiple programs that will work for you. We know many of you kind of have to focus on one particular location, but as you'll hear us say a few times in this presentation, it's really important that you identify multiple programs that will work for you, because these are competitive programs and it's important to apply to more than one. The slides we used to put that video together are available for download on our application portal page. And I'd encourage you to download that document if you'd like to take a closer look at all the information that was presented. I'd also encourage you to go to our website for further information about specifically program requirements and again, policies and procedures. This is a shot of our website. And if you go to the destinations button on the left-hand side, that will take you to a menu of all of our programs in alphabetical order. And each of our programs has its own individual program brochure page, which will provide much more detailed information about all of the coursework that's available, academic requirements, excursions, housing, and so on. So do be sure to go to our website to get further information about programs that are of interest to you. The third question that we're dealing with in our presentation is, how do you go about applying for these different programs? And also on your application portal page, you'll find a couple of other documents available for download. One's called our Student's Guide to Semester Study Abroad. It was also available as a link on the CGE webpage that we just showed you. But I really do encourage you to take a look at this document. It's very important in that it gives you a lot of very detailed information about the various policies and procedures that we use in our office. Things like financial aid and how credits and grades transfer, things like that. It's not the most exciting thing that you'll ever read, but it really is important for you to familiarize yourself with all of the details about our study abroad programs. The other document that's available there is a handout that we would normally give you in person if we were doing our regular kind of meeting. But that handout is organized to kind of take you through the entire process from start to end for our various programs. And we talked about it's important to go to our website and do some research. You're watching this presentation and getting more information. You're going to be attending an advising session with a CGE staff member to learn more about particular programs. Then you're going to attend program-specific information sessions to get even more detail. The next step after that is also very important, and that is meeting with your advisor. Hopefully some of you have been talking to your advisor already about your interest in study abroad, but at this point, you're going to talk to your advisor about the classes that are available in the programs that you're interested in, that Amy has helped you identify as being academically appropriate for you. Your advisor will help you determine whether courses will count towards a major, a minor, or goals. Your advisors also have to e-sign all of your application. So it's important not to wait till the last minute to meet with them. Give them time, set up a meeting, set up multiple meetings if you need to, but make sure that you have those conversations. After you talk to your advisor, you're going to go on. All of our applications are online. You're going to submit them online, and very important, get them in before the application deadline. Our application deadline is Wednesday, September 30th at 11:59 p.m. Our online application portal will lock at that time. Anything after that is considered late and will automatically be waitlisted. So again, don't wait to meet with your advisor. Give them plenty of time.
Hello, my name is Jen O'Neill, and I'm the Pre-Departure and Reentry Programming Coordinator at the CGE. I will be covering how to search for study abroad programs and how to apply. We'll be looking at how to use the HWSabroad application portal and access HWS program offerings. Your journey abroad begins at the HWS Global webpage, which you can access by going to hws.edu/HWSabroad. Once you're on the Global Ed webpage, you'll want to fully explore the different resources that are available to you. When you're ready to explore programs, navigate to the Destinations page. This will link you out to the HWS application portal, which shows you all of HWS's study abroad options. Another easy way to access this site is by opening a new tab and simply typing global.hws.edu. You'll now notice that you've linked out to the HWSabroad application portal. To view all programs, simply go to the Programs tab and click on the HWS Destinations tab, where you'll see all of our programs listed in alphabetical order. You can also search programs by region, academic focus, or program name by searching on the Advanced Search tab. This can be very helpful in determining all of the programs that might work with your major and minor. Remember, we do encourage you to apply to more than one program. For example, if you're interested in all HWS Study Abroad programs that offer anthropology options, we're going to go to Academic Area of Focus and click on Anthropology, and then click on Search. This will lead you to a short list of the different program options that offer anthropology courses. Remember, when you're using the Advanced Search feature, be sure to search by term to show you which programs are available in any given term. Not all HWS programs run every semester. You can narrow down by term by selecting the term you're interested in, for example, fall, scrolling to the bottom, and selecting Search. This will narrow down the list of programs to the programs that are running for that particular semester. To learn more about a program that you're interested in, simply select the country. We'll use Italy, Rome, as an example. You can now see a brochure page, which will have the country-specific and program-specific information. Scroll down to see more information on the location, the courses and academic focus, accommodation, excursions, information on finances, and then how to apply. When you're ready to apply, there is an Apply Now button at the bottom of the screen and also at the top of the screen. So let's click into Apply Now. The system will now ask you to log in. Please use your HWS credentials to log in, which is your username without @hws.edu and your password. Please be sure not to click on New User, and then we'll click Login. Here, under Program Options, you should click on the term that you are applying for. For example, Fall 2021, and then click Continue. This will bring you to the start of your online application. Please read the instructions at the top of the page before beginning your application. You can always minimize the instructions by clicking the X at the top of the page. Navigate through each of the 5 sections: the CGE program application, the unofficial transcript, required essays, the advisor electronic signature, and the records release consent. These are required components that you need to submit before your application can be considered. When you are ready to begin the application, click on the purple Get Started button. Be sure to save your work as you go and click Done or Sign in order to complete each requirement. Once you start completing items, a purple progress circle will appear at the top of the page, seen on this example page. This tracks your progress towards completion. Once all application requirements are complete, a Submit button will appear at the top of the page. You must click the Submit button in order to finalize the submission of your whole application. At any time, you can navigate to your applicant homepage, and here you can see all of the applications you have set up in the system. You may repeat the application process with additional programs as we suggest you apply to more than one program. This concludes the tutorial on how to search for and apply for programs. Remember, you can access your online account at any time simply by typing in global.hws.edu into the search bar and then clicking on the login button. Once you click on login, you can enter your HWS username, credentials, and password, and then select login to access your application.
Welcome, my name is Amy Teal and I'm from the Center for Global Education. I'm going to talk to you about admission criteria, what we're looking at and how we evaluate your applications when you study abroad. So you'll see on the slide that we have pulled up one of the sample brochure pages. For starters, we're looking that you're a fit for program requirements. So make sure you're applying for programs for which you meet the GPA or that you're close to the GPA and can meet it by the end of the semester. Make sure that you're applying for programs for which you meet any prerequisites if they're specified, and that you're applying for programs for which you meet the class standing. If it says juniors and seniors only, that means they do not accept sophomores, and so you would not be able to apply as a first year to go as a sophomore for a program that only accepts juniors and seniors. So please pay attention to those things to make sure that you're applying for the right fit. Next, I'd like to talk to you about generally what are we looking for. So basically everything counts. Your academic record, which includes not just your grades, but also what kinds of courses you've taken and whether you've been consistent in completing your courses. If you're a student who has many W's, lots of no credits, lots of incompletes every semester, those are things that could adversely affect you. I'm not talking about one such grade, but patterns that suggest that you're not finishing your classes or you're withdrawing from your classes and so on. We also look for, so academic fit, your major, your minors, how the programs you're choosing meet or address your goals. We're looking for your essays, we're looking for your conduct record, you're looking for basically the whole package of what you present about your preparation for study abroad and your performance so far. Essays. Essays are extremely important. You cannot qualify to study abroad in one of our programs if you do not meet the minimum GPA requirements or have the other minimum prerequisites. But once you've met those requirements, our admissions are still quite competitive. And so this is where essays can play a big role. We don't merely admit students by saying, high GPA trumps all, and if you have a 4.0, you'll always be better than a student who has a 3.7, or who's always better than a student with a 3.0. No. If you're applying for a program that requires a 3.0 or better, you must have that 3.0. But if you are a student with a 3.2 with a killer essay and you've never been in trouble, it is possible for you to outperform and outcompete a student with a 4.0 and a much weaker statement. So take these essays seriously. Don't assume it's a slam dunk because you are a 4.0 student that you're in, and don't give up and not try if you're towards the lower end, because you certainly can make your case with your essay. So I want to give you some examples of what's a bad essay and what's a good essay, so that when we talk about essays playing such an important role, you have a much better sense of what it is that we mean. So you'll see here an example of a bad essay. Okay, what makes this a bad essay is that it's totally vague and general. The student is talking simply about this destination as a perfect place, but without explaining why. The student doesn't seem to know anything specific about the country or the program that they're choosing. The student here is not talking about any specific courses, just this is going to be a really good fit for my major in X. Okay, why is it a good fit for your major? So this is a very general essay that gives us very, very little information and therefore would not help the student compete for a program. In contrast, here is an example of a good essay. This student is being extremely specific. This student is talking about specific classes by name that they've taken here, and how these classes, or in some cases experiences, maybe an internship or a leadership role that they've had, will prepare them for the program and the courses and the experiences that they're going to have abroad. The student also then talks specifically about the classes that they will take abroad, mentions these classes by name, and talks about how they will address the student's goals, or how they're going to address the student's major, or how they address the student's minor. The student also talks about opportunities for things that they're going to do outside of the classroom. And this student in particular is very good because they even go beyond the basics and talk about longer term goals. So this is a student who talks about how a volunteer experience abroad is going to be helpful to the student in the career and the long-term planning that they're making. Anyway, this you can come back to this at your leisure to take a look and use this type of thing as an example. The message here is do your research. Learn about the courses that are available in our programs abroad. Learn about the country that you're applying to. Learn about what makes that program and or curriculum and or destination unique, and address that in your essay. Okay, so here's a comparison between good and bad. Again, you can go back to this at your leisure to kind of process that and use that to write your own. Next, when we're looking at other criteria for admission, so you've met the GPA requirements, you've done a killer essay, you don't have a lot of patterns of incompletes and no credits and W's, and now we're looking at things like your social conduct record, your class standing, and your prior participation. So if you are currently on social probation, you are not eligible to be considered, and you will not be considered until you are off probation. But merely not being on social probation is not a qualification for study abroad. We want to see that you're a good citizen. We want to see that you're not regularly getting into trouble. If you've never been on social probation, but every semester you're being written up for this small violation and that small violation, that tells us that you're not good at following the rules and trying to meet standards that are expected of you. And that can hurt you in the review process. Secondly, class standing. When all else is equal, we will give priority to students who are rising seniors, and then students who are rising juniors, and then students who are going to be sophomores next year. And the reason for that is simply that underclassmen can always try again if they don't make the cut, whereas rising seniors, this may be their last chance. So we do use class standing as one of our criteria when we're considering you. If you are a transfer student, please keep in mind that you will be considered with the class that you're transferring into. So if you're transferred in and you are currently in your second year of college, even if you're a first year here, we would consider you to be a sophomore here. One thing that's also important to keep in mind is that we do automatically waitlist students who have no GPA with us. So if you're a brand new first year, or if you're in your first semester with us as a transfer, expect that you will initially be waitlisted because you don't have a GPA here. However, if you do well this term, we will then go back to the wait list, and if your GPA meets our standards and the rest of your application looks good, we will prioritize transfer students over first year students when we go to the wait list. So that's something you should be aware of too. Finally, prior participation. If you've already been abroad with us on one of our programs for a semester, then you have lower priority and are less likely to be accepted now. In fact, you will almost certainly start on the waiting list if you've already had a semester abroad. If you've only done a summer or short-term program, that will not weigh against you. And if you've never traveled abroad at all, then that will not weigh against you, obviously, either. Please rank order your preferences when you're applying. Apply to multiple programs. We want to make sure you don't get left behind. We want to make sure that come next fall, you're getting on that plane going somewhere. If you only apply to one program, particularly if it's a very competitive program, you risk the chance that you don't get selected. So apply to more than one program. We recommend 3 or 4, rank order them. My first choice is X, my second choice is Y, and we will take your preferences into consideration when we review you. Applying to more than one program does not reduce your chances of getting into your first choice, but it increases the chance that you're going somewhere next semester. Or next year. So that's important. Please talk to your advisor about your choices. Please make sure that you're ready. Finally, if none of our programs meet your needs and you would like to study abroad in another school's program, your friend goes to Syracuse, you'd like to go with them, please understand that HWS will not grant transfer credit for a program abroad with another school unless you're able to demonstrate that none of our programs meet your academic needs. So if you think that you're in that situation, please make an appointment so we can talk about our non-HWS program policy, but don't assume that you can go with another school, because that's not the case. If you get everything in by our deadline, which is September 30th, then you will get your decision by October 26th. So before registration, you will know whether you're waitlisted, whether you're accepted, or whether you're denied. If you're waitlisted, that does not mean you're denied. It means we need more information about you in terms of your GPA, or it means that you apply to a competitive program. You were not in our first round, but we will look at you again at the end of the semester when new grades come in, and about 50% of the students who start on a wait list do get in, about 50% don't, which is why we want you to have backup. Thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Penny Hamilton. I am the Administrative Assistant, Office Manager for the Center for Global Education. I am responsible for checking completed applications, and once students are accepted into the program, I check on required documents. I'm also a notary and can notarize documents with proper identification. As we wrap up this presentation, here's a quick reminder of your next steps. On the page where you access this video, you'll find all the other links and information that you need. You will need to sign up for an individual mini advising session or an extended group advising session. During these sessions, you will meet with Amy Teal, and she will help to identify programs that will be a good academic fit for you. You should do some research on those options on our website by accessing the program brochure pages, and then register for the program-specific information sessions we're offering between September 7th and the 10th. Once you have attended the sessions, you will need to talk with your advisor and complete the application process. Please apply to multiple programs, not just one. The deadline for applications is September 30th. We will be hosting a short-term program information session on September 15th. Keep an eye out for an announcement if you want to learn more about the summer and J-term program options. Thank you for your interest in studying abroad, and I look forward to assisting you.